This is Jacob Pearman. Jacob was a fitness trainer who took shortcuts to get the results he was after. He became involved in not only the use of steroids, but also their manufacturing and distribution. It wouldn't take very long for Jacob to get caught and convicted in federal court. He would be sentenced to 2 years in federal prison, followed by 2 years of probation. Shortly after his release, Jacob would meet Carla Dillard and her 8-year-old son, and after several months of dating, they would all move in together. During this time, Jacob was still on probation. This meant that if he was to get into trouble for any reason, he would be sent back to prison for several years. Jacob would begin to have issues with Carla's son. It began a few days before Christmas, when a local elementary school teacher would see Carla's son running barefoot, wearing only pajamas with the outside temperatures well below freezing. The boy explained that he was running away from home, so the teacher immediately called the police. The police would conduct a welfare check, and they would find that Carla's son had several injuries. He had red marks on his ribcage that resembled a footprint, marks around his neck, and a knot on the back of his head. When asked about his injuries, he would tell police that Jacob had caused them. Social services would step in and remove the child from the home. They stated that he would be much safer with his biological father. Jacob would be charged with child abuse, and a court date was set. He knew that if he was convicted, he would violate his probation and be sent back to jail. Jacob begged Carla to go to his court date and testify on his behalf, but Carla had a different plan. After losing her son, she had contacted a lawyer seeking help in getting him back. The lawyer told her that she needed to remove Jacob from her home and file for divorce. The night before Jacob's court date, he would ask again for her help, but Carla would inform him that not only was she filing for divorce, but also she told him that he had to move out as well. Jacob did not like what he was hearing, and in a fit of rage, he took Carla's life.
What happened when you finally, you said you lost your cool?
Yeah, I just remember I hit her
Okay, where'd you hit her at?
in the face. I mean, we were laying there right there next to each other. And I think it was, and I can't remember what it was, but she kept giving me, like, because I was asking her certain things, and I knew she was lying to me about things, and it was just tearing me up, you know. And it was like, she much less care. And that's what I was hurt was when I was like, she's like, I don't need to be worried about you, I need to be worried about getting my son back. And that's when I was hurt. I'm like, you know, I didn't do anything to your son, and I'm the one that's facing whatever consequence that could come from that because of something I didn't do, you know. And I think I just had it. And I just remember hitting her.
You choked her?
Yeah.
Now, how long do you think you choked her?
A long time.
Was she unconscious when you got through choking?
Yes, sir.
Did you check to see if she was okay after that?
No, I knew she wasn't.
Did you know she was dead by then?
Yes, sir.
So you knew that you had choked her until she had died? How many times did you strike her?
I did once or twice.
Once or twice?
Was it
with me? How did you hit her close to?
No, yeah, close to.
Did you have anything in your hand?
No, sir.
So did you at any time, there was a trash bag laying on the bed?
I tried to kill myself, and I just couldn't do it with a trash bag. And I didn't have my gun. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to, you know. I've been through so much in life, I just did not care anymore. And I think that's what got to me, my gun being gone. I don't know where it's at. What happened to it?
As far as choking her, I mean, did you use both hands?
Yes, sir.
Were you on top of her?
Kind of, and then we kind of went into the floor a little bit. And then I put her back in the bed.
Okay, so you
put the
didn't
covers
do it.
over her.
Was she deceased when you put her back in the bed?
Yes, sir.
So basically, what you're telling me is that y'all were basically in bed. I want to make sure I understand this. I'm not trying to rehash things. I just want to make sure we understand that y'all were laying in bed.
Yeah.
And that while y'all were laying in bed, y'all were talking and apparently arguing. Of course, y'all
Yeah,
never said to each other throughout the day.
Yeah, we were probably arguing. I mean, when we left the living room and even while she was sitting in the bathroom with me while I was in the shower, we were still going on about it, and never ending a conversation over it.
So basically, from the time you got home up until
Yeah.
this occurred, y'all were arguing over the whole DCS and ethics issue, pending case. And basically, at some point, you said, how'd you put, you said you lost your cool, or, I mean, what?
I don't know if it was just all hope on everything. Devastated, hurt, not really. The one person, I guess, that in my life that I never thought would turn against me no matter what, that would be that was gone.
Do you think she was going to betray you?
Yes.
Is that what you were thinking?
Yes. Her parents were trying to get her to do that the whole time.
So how do you think she was going to betray you?
She just wasn't going to be there. She was going to be there, and she said she wasn't going to go with either story, which would still hurt me. You know, she knows how I was with him.
She wasn't going to go with either story.
Like because of what DCS told her, and what some attorney that she talked to apparently told her, that she did not need to be there and I needed to be out of the house immediately if she ever wanted to get her son back. That was exactly what she said DCS told her. And she was worried she'd never get her son back. She was worried if she showed up with me to court today, that would make her look like a horrible mother. And she was just dead set. Somehow they got that in her head that she'd be a horrible person if she showed up with me in court.
And so that's when you...
Well, we were going on with that, and I can't remember what it was she did exactly, but it was just certain things she was saying. It was just...
When you first hit her, were your intentions of hitting her to subdue her to where you could choke her, or?
I didn't know. Yeah, we both were.
Y'all were still in bed?
Yeah.
You struck her, hit her twice, you said, believe.
Yeah, and then she started begging me she would do whatever I wanted to do.
And then what happened?
That's when I started choking her.
Okay. So she started begging you, she'd do whatever you needed to do, whatever you needed her to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then you took both your hands, you said?
Yes, sir.
And you started choking her, and this was in bed, right?
Yes, sir.
And then you said you went to the floor.
Eventually went to the floor.
And once y'all were in the floor,
That's where it stopped.
about how long do you think you choked her?
I don't know.
But long enough
Yeah.
that once you got off of her, you knew that she was deceased?
Felt for a pulse rate.
You felt her pulse?
I was super hard.
And once you didn't feel a pulse,
I laid her back in bed and I laid with it from.
so once you put her back in bed, once you felt for a pulse, you realized that she was not breathing. You placed her back in the bed, and then you laid in the bed with her.
Yeah.
And for about how long do you think you laid in the bed with her?
I don't know. I was so right. I couldn't stay long. I didn't know what to do.
Now, at some point, you said you called your mother.
No, we called my mother before all that.
You called your mother before.
Yeah,
all this?
we were talking it out with her. And, Carla's close to my family. We always talk about things. And we called and talked to her. I'm going to help smooth things over with us because it didn't work.
Now, once you called your mother, did you call anyone after this?
After that happened with her, I called my father.
Okay. What'd you tell your father?
I just talked to him for about 10 minutes, tell him how much I loved him. And he was telling the same thing back, and he just wanted what was wrong with him. I would tell him at first. And
did you finally mention to him that you had killed her?
yes, sir. But I didn't tell him how by any means. But I just told him I hurt her really, really bad. And he got really nervous, and he was panicking. And
Right. So you told him that you hurt her, but you didn't say anything about that she was deceased.
I told him that he asked if I killed her. I was like, yeah. And
So you did answer to him that you did kill her.
yes.
These scratches on your face and neck,
Yes,
and underneath your eye. Do you have any other scratches on you?
I'm not sure. I think just here, maybe.
Yeah, I guess on his neck, basically. If you have anything on his chest or anything.
Jacob, do you mind if you brought me out what you told me here today? That way we have it in your words.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me get some paper and stuff for you and a pen. Need this one.
Sure, want a drink? You need tissue or anything?
Yeah.
Tissue. Get some.
Sure you don't need, sure you don't need anything to drink?
Jacob would be convicted of first-degree murder and receive life in prison for taking Carla's life. Jacob spent his life taking shortcuts because he wanted to be a winner. When he found out that Carla was going to choose her son over him, he killed her because he could not stand the thought of being a loser.
Pearman is accused of murdering his wife Carla on Valentine's Day in 2013 and abusing her then 7-year-old son. New at 5, our Talia Kaplan has the latest from the Rutherford County Courthouse.
Today, the defense presented their case to the jury. They argue that Jacob Pearman is depressed, mentally ill, and troubled.
How was your relationship with Carla?
I loved her.
While on the stand, Jacob Pearman's mother, Donna, and his sister, Amy Stevens, talked about his relationship with his wife of 3 months. They both testified, saying even after he was charged with child abuse, the couple seemed affectionate. Carla spoke with them about their plans.
She was eager and excited to have a baby with Jacob.
Stevens says she saw and spoke with her brother several times after he was charged with child abuse.
And he never told you he was suicidal or depressed, did he?
No, sir, he did not.
And you'd never seen him suicidal or depressed?
No, sir, I had not.
Donna Pearman said the night before Carla was murdered, her then 30-year-old son talked to her about, quote, inappropriate pictures on his phone.
He said, Mom, I've told Carla that that sometimes I have trouble with sex. And he said, Mom, I told her I was raped when I was 5 years old, and Mommy never talked to me about it.
She testified, saying he was allegedly raped by an 8- or 9-year-old neighbor. She said she only called a pediatrician about it.
He said, talk to him now, but unless he comes to you, don't bring it up to him again.
Okay. And this is the first time that he brought it up to you in 25 years, after Miss Pearman had found inappropriate pictures on his cell phone. Correct?
Yes.
Thank you for watching. I will see you next time here on the Red Tree Stories YouTube channel.